Good evening and welcome to the Cheese Room podcast, where we are only 5 minutes late, which is actually early compared to Caller. So, hello everyone, what a treat. Tonight we're going to be discussing the international break because there isn't anything else to discuss because it's a hollow, depressing world when Spurs are and aren't playing. And joining me are some very, very special guests. Oh God, what's Dave written?
Just introduce you, Shan.
Tonight, it's West Sussex.
Sussex, love. Sussex.
I haven't even been on the wine. Tonight is a West Sussex v Cheshire affair. We start off down on the south coast with our oldest guest this evening. It's John. Hello. Are you, John?
Hi, Shan. Shan, can I suggest you get on the wine? It might go more smoothly.
You're not wrong. I've got smoky eyes. I've just been cutting onions and cooking dinner, so that's probably why I'm like. How are you, John?
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm fine.
Good. Next at the other end of the scale, in the slightly more middle-class part of the South Coast, it's our resident student and barrister, Coach Jeff.
Barista.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer. I make coffee. I'm not a lawyer yet.
James, how are you?
I'm good. International break's been good for me. If no one could tell, Welsh. I'm a Wales fan, so feel quite good after that superb Gareth Bale performance against Austria, and hopefully I get to watch Wales in a World Cup for the first time for most people in the world, actually. Yeah.
And of course, there's only one coach that could possibly live up to you, James. So there we go. And our final two guests are battling it out on the Cheshire borders. It's Becky and Seb. Sorry, Dave wrote this.
Oh, I have to say I wrote that. That's my fault.
Sorry, Dave wrote this laughing emoji for reading line for line. How are you, Becky? It's good to have you back.
I'm good, thank you. Like you said, I can't wait for Spurs to be back. It's just dragging now. I need my Spurs fix. But yeah, we'll find some things to talk about tonight.
I saw the ridiculous David Moyes comments from the West Ham game, and it just feels so long ago now, doesn't it? Like, it's a joke.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just too long. I don't know how we survive when they're 2 weeks, because 1 week's bad enough.
Yeah, that is very true. And back again is the Prediction League master. It's Seb. How are you, Seb?
I'm good. I've got COVID, but apart from that, I'm okay. I'm kind of coming out the other side of it. And I was the Prediction League master when I was able to kind of monitor it and put all the scores in. And then because I've not been very well, I left it to Jack to do. And suddenly I've slipped down the league table, which is why I have to keep an eye on it, obviously, to make sure I maintain my
what a surprise!
No, but genuinely, I had a nightmare couple of predictions. Oh, and also, I seem to be the only one who really doesn't mind an international break. I quite like it. I like seeing different teams and getting an idea of what's going on around the world, and also seeing players who can't get into a Spurs team do very well on the international.
Do really well.
So yeah, it's been an interesting weekend.
You could say that. I mean, I am guilty. I'm going to admit I didn't even watch the England game, and I was hoping that Harry Maguire would score a couple of own goals, but here we go. John, were you excited about the England, not Wales, international break?
You can tell Dave I wrote that, can't you? Not really. Never excited about the international break. I did enjoy I was working Thursday night. I didn't enjoy what I saw of the Wales game. I did sort of have to just stop while I was in the reception of the bar, and I started clapping. I must have looked a bit crazy in this university in England, clapping Bale's first goal. It was just brilliant. And I watched some of the England game, but I watched most of the first half and some of the second, but it was just a bit boring.
It's always boring watching England.
Yeah.
Especially in friendly.
No, it's not. I'm going to be the odd one out here. It's really not boring watching England. They're a really good team. and they haven't. There's just so much talent coming through. Like, I grew up, sure most of you did, where actually you didn't care watching England, and there were obvious rivalries, club rivalries and stuff that affected the England team. It just seems like they all love playing for England, and you've got players there who can't play, don't appear to be playing very well for their clubs, and yet they put on an England shirt. I'm looking at you, Luke Shaw, and you become a world beater. And I like seeing that. I like seeing that there's players there who obviously want to play for their country now and really enjoy it. And
Roberto Carlos with the biggest comeback since the Euros with his goal on I'm sure we'll talk about that. I don't actually know, but if we are, but I'm sure we will. Is it the footballing equivalent of being dragged by your parents to your great auntie's house for afternoon tea, Becky?
Well, my family, they are Welsh and English when it suits them. The rugby thing is all over the place, so they watch the rugby as Welsh fans and football as English fan. It's all a bit random, but yeah, it was all right when it's Spurs players playing well. I can only get behind England players from other clubs in tournaments. So, for example, Maguire was one of my favourite players for England when he was playing for Leicester, and then he went and moved to United. And I just, like you said about Luke Shaw, and the rotation gets on my nerves as well. Kane shouldn't be playing. He definitely should not be playing on Tuesday. But I just flinch, and I'm watching them, through gritted teeth, hoping that they don't get injured. Having said that, I enjoyed the Holland-Denmark game. I thought that was great fun. But yeah, it's just the England game had a Mexican wave in it, and need I say more?
Yeah, I mean, Bill is right here. Like, this is what I mean. It's not boring during a tournament when but qualifiers and friendlies, it's like.
I think the thing is with the friendlies is the whole point of these friendlies is to try stuff out, and that was a very disjointed team because it was so many fresh faces. The whole back line was pretty much new, wasn't it? Apart from Shaw, and he's not played that many games for England. I was surprised it's only like 25 or 30 or something. And didn't he go to the 2012 World Cup in Brazil? Or 14 World Cup in Brazil. He's been around a long time. I think, I can't remember who else was playing, but Cody's only played 9 caps or something. So in a way, it's a not surprise. It was a different, slightly tweaked the formation, didn't he? He had Mount on the left and Gallagher on the right in a midfield 3. With Foden playing up front as a striker with Kane. So it was quite different. I like that he tried it, just that obviously they're a well-drilled team. They know what they're doing. They're not a bad team. And they've got decent players, ultimately. So you come up with that sort of team with a bit of a mismatch of team. It's always going to be a bit hit and miss to start off with.
Yeah, they made England look poor in the first half. I think they fully deserve to be leading. It was just I just try things out, but then play Kane for an hour and get him off.
I don't think he'll play tomorrow. I think
I hope not.
Oh, I think he will. I'm sure he will. He's got a chance of going 50 goals.
He's got some stat padding to do, ain't he?
If Kane's fit and Kane says he wants to play, which he always says he wants to play for Spurs or England, then he plays. I'm sure he won't play all the game, but I think he'll start. I think he'll play 60, 70 minutes. He'll probably get a goal and then be taken off. I'm really different. I really enjoy watching England at the moment. It was difficult the first half, as you said, John. That you got Kyle Walker-Peters, Connor Cody, Ben White, and Luke Shaw at the back. It's going to be a bit of mix and match, but I like the fact they kind of stood up to it, and as the game went on, they grew into the game. I think it was a lucky penalty that won it, but you kind of got to be in it to win it. And I'm just really enthused with the amount of talent that comes through. You try and pick 23 players now, you're going to be leaving some big names at home. You look at the likes of Conor Gallagher's coming. He looks fantastic. Looks like he's played for England for years. He's going to take someone's place. He's going to take someone from the Euro squad that did so well. He's going to take their place. Eric Dyer is fantastic. He can't get a look in because there is so much talent coming through. If your one drops out, it's automatic. Another one drops in. We've got 4 or 5 players for each position. Sorry.
Eric Dyer is a touchy subject, Seb, because I think there's centre backs in that England squad that are not better than Eric Dyer.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think he's unlucky to miss out. I think, but I mean, I'm not a Ben White fan, but he actually did okay on Saturday, and that's what's happening. Is players are coming in, being given an opportunity. The thing that I do like with Southgate is when he calls a player up in emergency, such as Tyrick Mitchell. It's not just to come and be part of the squad. It's I'm going to call you up. You will get play some part. So they're all instantly involved. And I haven't seen many bad performances. I haven't seen someone not take their chance. You know, Bellingham came on. He's obviously welling Southgate's thoughts. And you think Declan Rice barely played. And there's so much talent. You know, it's going to be really interesting to see what that final 23 is. I know obviously we've got the start of next season to go through, and a lot's going to depend on fitness and form and things like that. But he could pick twice that many players, and people wouldn't. You know, there's 40 odd players I think who are in the mix for that England squad.
Yeah, well, the final score, as we said, was England 2, Switzerland 1. First half, England struggled to get going, but then we had Kyle Walker-Peters with a key interception that led to England's equaliser on half-time. James, what did you make of that? Did you watch it?
I don't really ever watch friendlies. I don't watch England games, really, if I'm honest. I mean, I will if they're at a tournament and Wales aren't there because we never qualify for World Cups or if we've been knocked out. But otherwise, I don't really watch England games. Well, I mean, again, yeah, I watched them at a tournament, but I don't know. I was just hoping Spurs players wouldn't play because it's a friendly. Do they affect world rankings friendlies?
I think they do, but only really a small amount compared to competitive games.
Yeah, because, I mean, in that case, they're not particularly meaningful. I mean, it's nice that Kane will probably be England's all-time top goal scorer. I think he's already scored the most goals in competitive fixtures, right? So hopefully other Man U fans and whoever else fans can shut up because he's England's best player in like 50 years.
I mean, people are trying to say Harry Kane or Rooney is ridiculous to me. Seb might have a different opinion. Usually you do, Seb. But who would you pick, Harry Kane or Rooney?
They're different players, aren't they? But Harry Kane is. Yeah, I'd go so far as to say, Harry Kane's the best player England have produced in the last 30 years. Yeah, I don't think there's much of an argument with that, and you back it up. I know we haven't won anything, but England haven't won anything for nearly 60 years. So, we've got further with Kane in the team than without him. So, yeah, I don't see there being a rival to that. And I also think the Rooney generation should have done a lot better. So you kind of couple it with that, then I don't think there's an argument really.
I'm assuming everyone else agrees.
Yeah.
I think the thing with Rooney, I've always said about Rooney, he could have been top draw, but he smoked, he drank, he went out clubbing. Kane looks after himself. Kane, hired a dietitian. There's no way Rooney hired a dietitian, did he? Look at him. But he could have been up there. Like, I don't think it was Ronaldo's level, but he could have been a level up from where he was. But he didn't look after himself, ultimately. He enjoyed his life. He didn't have a bad career. But what I'm saying is he could have been even better. I'm not saying he was rubbish. He was a top-class player. But I still think he could have gone another level up if he really wanted it.
If he left his nan fetish alone, you mean? Yeah.
Man United's leading scorer, England's leading scorer. He kind of won everything. I'm not sure there's too much more apart from the international stage, but that's not just down to him. There was a lot of mismanagement, a huge amount. If you look at McLaren and Capello, even Eriksen, there's a huge amount of mismanagement around the time of Rooney, and obviously Lampard, Scholes, Gerrard, that situation. We had the two best centre-backs in the world in Ferdinand and Terry. We had the best left-back in the world, Ashley Cole, potentially the best right-back in the world with Gary Neville. Should have won something. And unfortunately, that is down to the FA. I think if you look at Rooney's career, there's not a lot more he could have done aside from that international stage. Like I said, I don't think it's his fault.
what I'm talking about is his actual performance. I think he could have been an extra. Like you look at Ronaldo, it's not just because he won stuff with his country stuff. And Messi, they're just astronomical players. But I think
You think he could have got to that level?
I think he probably not quite to that level, but almost. I think he could have been a level higher than he was because of the way he looked after himself. It's a bit like Gaza. We all know what a brilliant player Gaza was, but injuries and the way he looked after himself did hamper his career ultimately.
So is Kane at that level then?
I think the only thing that stopped Kane has been his injuries, but he's looked after himself 100%, a bit like Bale.
And the fact he plays for Spurs. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Well,
if Kane didn't play for Spurs, he'd be up there.
I don't think I don't think Kane is a particularly naturally talented player. It just comes down to the way he applies himself in a game. Whereas I think a lot of players like Gascoigne were very, very naturally talented, but didn't take care of themselves. One thing I will say about Southgate, even though I find his football very, very boring, the one thing I will definitely credit him with is that you look at England teams of old, they would play they'd play Lampard, Gerrard, Scholes. They try and fit all of these very similar players in the same team. The one thing that Southgate does do is he is willing to drop one of Foden, Grealish, like loads of those players. He's willing to drop them to play more defensive midfielders because he acknowledges that you have to have that more solid midfield. So that's like the one big call that England managers of the past didn't make, that he has made, and it's definitely paid off for England, I think. So I'll give him credit for that.
Can we just highlight this and just do our showing Dave Harris is an idiot comment?
I'm pretty sure Gareth Bale has got further at a major international tournament than Rooney did in a much worse team.
That, and I think he's won more Champions Leagues, more trophies in general.
Yeah. 4 Champions Leagues scored.
Gareth Bale is the greatest British footballer of all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
So, shush, Dave. You won't get no love here. Did we make a mistake with Kyle Walker-Peters, Becky?
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because we've had players before that have moved on. They've got game time. They've been played maybe in a slightly different position, and they just seem to flourish. And good for him. That seems to be another one of them. It was delightful that he's made his England full England debut and that. But yeah, it's tricky because it's that area that we've dabbled with and we've changed, and we still haven't really seemed to have sorted it. With Trippier, Aurier, but. Good luck to him. I'm delighted for him, and he's a great lad. And when he comes back to Spurs, he's great. So, yeah, but I don't know. I don't think it's a mismanagement thing. It's not like Delhi, where he went off the rails. And I just think his face didn't fit at the time when he needed it, and he needed a slightly different way of, maybe being coached or fitness-wise or nutrition or whatever, or home life or whatever it was. Something changed, and it's worked out really well for him at Southampton. And I am really pleased for him. I don't know.
This is it's a really good point by Phil here. If Kyle Walker-Peters was playing at the same level as he is for us, most players would be saying he wasn't good enough. I think it probably was the right move to let him go.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting game time. I mean, he's a very skillful player. Clearly, he can't cross in the air either. Most of his stuff goes along the ground. Same as a lot of the other fullbacks. If you remember
when he went to Southampton, was the time that we bought Højbjerg, and he went to Southampton for 12 million, I think, and we bought Højbjerg for 15. And a lot of fans basically treated it as Walker-Peters as a write-off. So they say, "Oh, we've got Højbjerg for 3 million." That's what a lot of fans were saying. They didn't give him the consideration. Kyle Walker-Peters was an odd one because I never felt he played badly when he was given the chance. I remember that game against Bournemouth. I think he got 3 assists. And then he got done playing against Barcelona. Ousmane Dembele did him for pace. But Ousmane Dembele does everyone for pace. So there was no issue there. But he never got a chance. But I think anyone who's saying, why did we let him go? He's talking in hindsight rather than at the time. I think everyone was more than happy, like I say, to kind of write him off almost and bank the Højbjerg deal.
He reminds me a bit of Sess. He's quite a diminutive kind of figure, isn't he? And I think sometimes he gets pushed off the ball. And at the time when he was playing for Spurs, he still looked like that. He didn't look like he's kind of had the power. And I see that in Sess and think that although Reguilon is throwing himself all over the place at the moment, Sessegnon, when you see him against the other players, it's like men and boys, and he doesn't have that kind of physicality. And Kyle Walker-Peters was similar, and that maybe didn't do him well. I don't know.
James, what do you think?
I think his improved performance is probably just down to the fact that he's played a lot of games consistently, right? Some players need that, and that wouldn't have happened at Spurs. I mean, Doherty would have definitely got games. I mean, do we think he's better than Doherty? Probably not. And we all think Doherty isn't good enough. So
Whoa!
Well, most of us do, right? Okay. I mean, can you see us winning a Champions League with Doherty? I can't. Well, okay, I can't. Right.
Go on, Shane. Give us your song.
Don't you wish your right back was Doherty? Don't you wish your right back was Doherty? He's got another song now as well, but I can't remember how it goes.
Oh dear.
Best right wing back in the world, James Doherty. He's great.
Really?
It's a small world, obviously.
Puts Prime Carbu to shame.
assertion.
Literally. To shame. The less we say about that, the better, I think. Jeez.
Oh, here we go. Dave can't help but get any nick digging, can he?
Oh my god.
Dave just needs to get laid or something. Sorry if there's any kids watching, but
I think he's stressed. He's obviously upset about something. I don't know if Gareth Bale stole his cat or something. I don't know because he's got an agenda. Did Daniel Levy piss in your tea, Dave, mate? Come on.
I think Dave's on his way to work.
Coming out of Dave's mouth at the minute is nonsense.
Well, it's coffee then.
Oh dear. Anyway, Harry Kane, another penalty because it's stat padding FC for Harry Kane. 49 goals in 68 games for England. Was there ever any doubt he was going to miss?
No, and he's hitting the side netting from the inside now, so he couldn't be putting them, more accurately. It was his 100th penalty. He scored England's 100th penalty as well, which I think is a great thing to have. But yeah, we alluded to it before. He's scored 10 times in tournaments now, and Rooney's only scored 7 times in the tournament. And he's gonna, he's got to where he's got 53 less games than Rooney, so he is going to be the greatest striker England, all-round player that England have ever had. And good luck to him.
I mean, he just does it all, doesn't he? He just plays that 10-9 role so well. Yeah.
I said to Dave when we came in, because we were out on Saturday and I came in and watched second half, and I said, when it's on ITV, we have to endure Lee Dixon. And when it's on Sky, we have to endure Alan Smith. And Alan Smith was saying the same thing. And he's dropping too deep and he but anybody who watches Spurs, he does that for Son. He just needs to be able to get to Foden and then it would work and it wouldn't all be about Kane. But obviously, if it's a penalty, Kane's taking it. So.
But everyone who says, we only started doing this under Mourinho is wrong, because he started doing it under Southgate. Because he did it when England went and won in Spain. Was that 3-4 years ago? He was dropping deep and pinging the ball to Rashford and Sterling, who were just running on, and scored 3 goals in the first half from that. Simple. Yeah,
it is. It's just the disrespect is ridiculous. And I think you could tell because when he scored the penalty, it wasn't the same roar that you get at White Hart Lane. It was a muted kind of roar, and I just think that's ridiculous.
That's it. That's England fans for you, though. With they do well to give the FA credit. They do well to fill that for that type of game. There's 80,000 people there on Saturday, but they fill it with school trips. So you've got 30,000 people there who are there for a fun day out, which is fair enough. That's fair enough. Really, if you want to pack it with proper football fans who know what they're talking about, shouldn't be at Wembley. But the FA is still paying Wembley off, so they need as many ticket sales as possible. I like it when they go to Ellen Road or St James's Park or something like that, and then maybe you get more of a football atmosphere. For these friendlies at Wembley, it's party time. You know, like you said, it's the Mexican waves, and you can hear the school children in the crowd. So it's one of them, really. I don't mind the Harry Kane angst, because I think that kind of fires him up a little bit. He just keeps on proving people wrong. You know, he's done it since his first game in a Spurs shirt. So long may it continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Does
absolutely.
Kane get the respect he deserves, and would it be different if he was a Scouser or played for one of the Manchester clubs? Well, we've sort of alluded to this. He would be up there with Messi and Ronaldo if he probably played for one of the. If he went to Madrid,
I don't know about that. I think maybe some of it's got to do with the way that he looks. I genuinely think that, on the way that he's not chiseled and like Ronaldo. You know, he's not got that. Even though he's, like we said, the greatest player that we produced for 20, 30 years, you still don't see him kind of on the front of magazines and all that type of stuff. He lives a very nice private life. You know, he doesn't do anything wrong. Sometimes that, in a way, if there is a bit of a bad boy, that almost helps, you know, in terms of people rooting for him, and, you know, people like a bit of a bad boy. He's very clean cut, gets on with his job. And he doesn't. I think that's the problem, to be honest, is the way he talks, acts, and looks. But I don't really care about any of that.
If he had Messi's hair, he'd be onto something, wouldn't he?
I like the new trim though. I think the new trim really suits him. I always thought he looked really old with that kind of swooshed back kind of thing. The kind of spiky affair that he, you know, did for last week, I think really suits him. I liked it at West Ham.
I did think this. I thought he did look younger. That's how he used to have his hair back in the day.
Yeah, I think it really suits
And then it
him.
ended up being like this, like granddad comb over.
Swoosh.
Yeah.
Brendan mentioned this on the pod that we did after the West Ham game, and I didn't notice. I can't look at a guy's hair and that be the main thing. I didn't have a clue. He was like, "Did you like Harry Kane's new haircut?" I thought, what?
Well, Dyer and his headband, Dyer's black headband really suited him as well.
It did.
We could go on.
Good luck.
It did. It did really suit him. It was lovely. I don't know what this next bit means. So someone's going to have to elaborate, and I feel like it's it was either written by John or Dave, who are significantly older than I am. So, thoughts on overall performance? Can we bring the Jules Rimet back to England for the first time since 1966? I'm assuming that means World Cup.
Right.
Yeah, Jules Rimet.
It wasn't me. That was Dave.
Okay.
Jules Rimet was the guy that started. He was the president of FIFA.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Founded.
I didn't read it, Rimet. I read Rimet.
So Jules Rimet still gleaming, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dave's written that. Are we going to win the World Cup, basically? Becky?
No,
I don't think so. It still haunts me a bit how close England did get in the Euros, and I just think Kane holding the World Cup at Wembley would just been superb, and I just don't think we'll do it in Qatar. With it being the wrong time of season, and Kane normally gets, he gets his peak at sort of when he's fit, sort of March, April, May, and it's just all in the wrong place, and it would be too hot, and there'll just be lots of things. I just don't. I think we'll get close. I think we'll maybe get to the quarters, semi-finals, but I just don't think we'll win. Hope I'm wrong.
sorry, I was just looking at some really like this comment.
I think
we must sell Son, then buy world-class players.
Well, mate, I'll tell you what you could do. You could put in a job application to Daniel Levy as his head of recruitment strategy. Send him this, send him a cheeky letter, see what he thinks. Maybe you'll get a job out of it.
I mean, that's just
a waste of words.
I mean, it's an interesting structure of English, I have to say. I think we must sell some. So he's put the W as a capital, implying that that's the new sentence, right? So typically after that, you need a full stop, mate. Then buy world-class players. Who do you think we should sign?
Should we ignore that comment and go back to talking about it?
Yeah, let's move on.
Well,
Yeah,
it's the goal of the month has been shared, hasn't it, on the Spurs website today? And of the, I think it was 6 goals, 4 of them were Son and Kane. So
Yeah.
that just says it all, doesn't it?
Son has scored more goals this season than Kane in the Premier League.
Yeah,
By one.
One more.
So he scored 12. Kane scored 11, and I think he's only one assist away from being the only player in the last 6 seasons to score more than 10 goals and get more than 6 assists. I think in the whole all of the
Son?
big leagues. Yeah.
Yeah, he's either levelled that already or he's gone ahead of it. I saw that.
Yeah,
last
he's
week.
levelled it. If he gets one more assist, he tops it.
Yeah,
I have to say, top signing for Clichy, bringing in this own goal fella. He scored loads of goals. I've hardly noticed him, but he seems very consistent for us.
He's Welsh, isn't he? Owen goal.
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Kat Zuma's goal should be goal of the month, in my opinion. But here we go. England play the Ivory Coast on Tuesday evening. Do we expect Southgate to make changes, John?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes, I think he'll make quite a lot of changes. That's the whole point of the friendlies, is to look at the squad. And I wouldn't be surprised if Watkins does get a go up front, because he knows what Kane can do. I'm hoping Kane is on that bench.
Fingers crossed.
Right, I just
We
need to shoot off for a second.
Dorier wiping Kane out, do we? Like just before we've got a big run in the league. Just imagine it.
Can I just go back to what you were saying before? I think England can win the World Cup. Obviously, a lot depends on the draw. But out of the teams that have qualified so far, I think you have to be wary of Brazil. They have got a very good young team together. But certainly in Europe, I don't really see anyone to be fearful of. The Spanish aren't what they were. Germans aren't quite what they were. Certainly Belgium aren't quite what they were. The draw will be really interesting. I imagine that England will be seeded, and that should help. But I can see us making it a very long way. You have to have luck go for you. You have to have your.
Me as well.
Not particularly for me. I know they've got a decent centre back, but I wouldn't be overly worried. And also, Argentina never do that well outside of South America. So I know it's a new environment for most countries. I get that, but I wouldn't really be fearful of Argentina. Probably Brazil and France, as I guess is most World Cups. But aside from that, I think we go into it as one of the 4 or 5 best teams at the tournament.
Even things like the atmosphere are going to be slightly strange, aren't they? Because it's a completely new entity, isn't it?
You're gonna have people round for like Christmas, pre-Christmas dinners, and you think, oh, let's chuck the World Cup on. To me, bizarre. England definitely can win it. I think it's wrong to write off Germany because they finally got rid of the not very good manager they had.
Was he the one that picked his nose?
Yeah, and they brought in Flick, who is he was at Bayern Munich. He's actually a good manager. So they've changed round managers, which I think will definitely help them. Maybe they'll be terrible. Maybe they'll be very good. Their problem is they don't have a striker still. They're still down to playing Timo Werner, who doesn't score goals, or playing Müller, who isn't really a striker either.
Is Havertz just Havertz?
Sometimes, but none of them are strikers, really, are they? So they're kind of in that weird position where they're fallible chances.
Fallible defensively, Germany as well. When they come up against decent teams, they do tend to concede. I think they lost to North Macedonia recently, which I know Italy have done that as well. But
maybe they'll win the World Cup. Maybe North Macedonia are just like the new best team in the world. I don't know. I mean, of course, England won't win the World Cup. England won't win the World Cup because Wales are going to win the World Cup, so it's fine. There you go.
They definitely won't win the Jules Rimet though, because that doesn't exist anymore.
No.
That got taken by Brazil in 1970, so it's a new trophy now. It's not the Jules Rimet.
Yeah,
Rimet.
Rimet.
Is that the porn version?
It's like when my little boy asked if he could watch the Grand Prix.
Oh.
Why is it every time I'm on this show, porn gets brought up?
Something about you, Shan.
Disco Benny and his porn. Today it's.
I'd say I didn't know that fact either, Shan.
No,
Yeah?
not me.
That's a good fact. Now you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on, John, you've been looking at how the Ivory Coast might line up. Obviously, we know about Serge Aurier, and that is terrifying. Please do not play Harry Kane. But yeah, what do you think?
This was part of what I was thinking of. They seem to play very much a. I'm just going to get up there. Last couple of games, they play very much a 4-3-3, but they've got a lot. And James and I have been looking at this, as both of us have been looking at this. You'd be amazed how many players you know. I mean, against France, they lost 2-1 the other day. Aurier played. Willy Bolly played. Bailly from United. That was 3 of the back 4. Kessie was in the midfield. And up their front 3 was Pepe, Haller, who was at West Ham, and Zaha.
Seri in their midfield. He played at Fulham one of the years they got promoted.
Oh, yeah. And they've got others. I've forgotten his name. The guy that was at Leeds for a while. Let me just get up.
The winger. Can't think of his name.
Gradle, Max Gradle.
Yeah.
I mean, there's quite a lot of sort of English-based players you'll know of, or ones we've been linked with. I don't think it'll be an easy game. Traditionally, going back over the years, and certainly in the early 90s, when we played the African teams, it was normally that was their jolly out because they got to play at Wembley. Bit of a payday for the African FA at the time. But I think it's to be a bit more serious. Some of these players, coming to England now, the Premier League's the major league in the world now, isn't it? So coming to play against England will give them a bit of a chance to put themselves on the stage. I imagine Aurier will be out to prove that we were wrong to get rid of him and hopefully give away a penalty. So Kane, if he does come off the bench, can tuck it away. And hopefully won't injure them. But it's not going to be an easy game.
Did you see them in the Africa Cup of Nations?
No. Going goal. Did he go in goal, didn't he?
Who, Aurier?
Yeah, he went in goal, didn't he?
Did he? I didn't see that. I saw a few of their games, and they're a disciplined team. Very, very tight. I think it'd be like a 1-0 or a 1-1, something like that. They don't give a lot away, which is surprising for to have a defence with the likes of Aurier and Bailly in it. But Aurier plays well for the Ivory Coast. I think he's their captain, isn't he?
Right.
And he's extremely disciplined, actually, playing for them. That's what I noticed from the AFCON. So yeah, I think it'll be very, very tight game. They'll probably win 4-0 now, but I think I would guess it would be tight.
I think the Ivory Coast have always been pretty decent.
It just reminds me of Didier Drogba.
Yeah, I was just thinking of him. I can't say his name. My granddad hated no one except him. Every time he saw him on the TV, the words that would come out of his mouth were explicit. So we don't talk about Didier Drogba here.
I mean, Sebastian Haller, or Heller, has scored 20 goals for Ajax in the league. I mean, no, we know the Dutch league isn't the highest quality, but he has scored 20 goals in 24 games, so he's got a bit of form on the back of him. So
scored in every group game in the Champions League. The first
right. He's the Champions League top scorer.
Yeah.
There you go. So another one that West Ham lost. What a shame.
Lost 25 million on him as well, didn't they?
Didn't they? Yeah.
Okay. Moving swiftly on. I'm not sure if Dave is still in the comments, but we're going to quickly touch on Gareth Bale as John, James, and Seb weren't on Friday's show. James, you're particularly passionate about Bale in our WhatsApp chat. Was that just because you were down the pub and had consumed a few pints?
No, I'll be equally as passionate about Gareth Bale right now when I'm sober. I don't care. He's probably the best player to ever play for Wales. Actually, no, he is the best player to ever play for Wales. He's the only player who I've ever watched, and every time he gets the ball, I get excited. Harry Kane's a brilliant player, but I don't get that when I watch him. I don't get that when I watch Son. I don't really get that when I've watched any other player. It's just every time Gareth Bale gets the ball, I think he could score. He could do something. It's like that game against Inter. It's just every time he got the ball, he would just run past Michael. He's just one of those few players that has that ability. I think bar Ronaldo and Messi, he is just behind those two. I don't really think there's anyone that's near them. Does Conte want there? Well, does Conte want Lucas Moura or Steven Bergwijn? I mean, he's got a lot of crap at the club. I mean, he's better than, a half-fit Gareth Bale is better than Lucas Moura and Steven Bergwijn. At the very least, it would stop Harry Kane taking free kicks and hitting it into Rosie. Yeah, together. He's better than both of them together, half-fit, with one of his legs. Just his left foot, just so he can take free kicks, because it would stop Bale taking free kicks. Not Bale, stop Kane taking free kicks. And he has an aura, right? Like, if you look at a lot of games, two centre-backs or two players will be on Kane, right? Which frees Son up a bit. Imagine if you have Bale as well, because they can't just leave Bale free, can they? So,
but then here lies the question: what about Kulusevski?
I mean, we need squad depth. We're going to be in Europe next season, right? Whether that's Conference, Europa, or Champions League, we're going to have games to rotate. So, it's good to have options. It's good to struggle to get all your best players in the team. It's not good to only have 11 players and, never give them a rest. It's good to be able to go to rotate a bit and, at some point, one of them's probably going to get injured, knowing us, or suspended or something. So it's nice to be able to, call off. Yeah, I mean, we could set up a golf team as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, and we said on Friday, I think it's key that it's a shame that the Wales game against Ukraine, not sure when it's being played yet, because if Wales qualify for the World Cup, he would come to us just for 6 months, 8 months. So I think that's a key part of it as well, because he's not going to play every minute of every game for us, but he would continue to keep his fitness, and so it's that side of it as well.
It's done, isn't it? I think the rumours are quite strong that he's coming in the summer. That's what I've heard. It's done.
Cool.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
There's certain people, I think, that know what they're talking about and are connected to the club. I've heard as much as the pay and everything. So those type of things don't tend to come out unless there's a modicum of truth in it. And the thing that makes me believe it is his obvious love for the club. He doesn't want to go anywhere else in England. I don't think he particularly wants to stay in Spain. It's either that or one huge last payday, I guess, in somewhere like America or something like that, which I guess that could be an option. But I'd have him. I'd have him in a heartbeat. I think he was terribly mismanaged under Jose.
Yeah.
Like you said, I don't think he's going to come in and play every game, and I don't necessarily think he's going to come in and set the world on fire. But you saw, obviously, on Thursday or Friday, whenever it was, what he can do. He's not even fit. He's not even fit, and he can come in and do that. So I think he enjoyed his time, even though he was mistreated by Jose. What did he score? Something like 16 goals or something like that. We haven't got anyone else apart from Kane and Son.
And own goals.
I know his mate owing goals. Yeah. So I think I'd take him in a heartbeat. 200 grand a week. I mean, better spent than Ndombele. So yeah, I'd have him. And if we are talking about Europe, I know it's a really boring thing to talk about. I know HG gets wound up talking about it, but he fills that homegrown quota. He's homegrown Tottenham. He's not just homegrown England, he's homegrown Tottenham. So that's another player that you can have essentially as a free pick in Europe.
Which every little helps, John?
I think it's all pretty much covered. I take him back. I can't imagine we're going to pay him massive loads of money. He doesn't need the money. He's a made man for life. It'll just be enough to keep him comfortable, and he'll have golf course membership and play 20 games, score 10 goals. Job's a good.
At the training ground.
Yeah. Job done. Let's move on.
He got on really well. Like, he was playing golf with Harry, Matt Doherty, and Eric Dyer, weren't he, as well? So
yeah,
they've got that sorted. Right, other international news. Republic of Ireland 2, Belgium 2. Doherty played the whole game at right wing back, wearing the number 10. Ooh. What do you know? Troy Carrot.
Troy Carrot. Oh. Who's that?
Troy Parrott came on in injury time. Will Parrott come back to Spurs next season and ruffle a few feathers in the Premier League? do we think Becky?
I must admit, I didn't see the Ireland game. And when we've talked about Parrott before, I don't know enough about what I've seen of him when he's played. But it's the same sort of thing as Dane Scarlett, isn't it? He can come back, you'll get minutes, but it might be injury time minutes or, cup matches, that sort of thing. But he said he wants to come back and he wants to fight for his place at Spurs. So if that's what he wants to do, good luck to him. But I think otherwise, playing for Ireland is all good and well, really, but it's about his club, isn't it? And what he does, which club he's at.
Seb, are you
No, I
a
don't
Troy
think he-
Parrott fan?
I haven't seen enough of him. I keep an eye on what he's doing in League One, but no, he won't. He'd be wasting his time, I think, to spend the season at Spurs. The comments that Conte's made on Scarlett show that he's in his thinking. There'll definitely, I would hope, be another striker come in the summer. So he'll be at least fourth in line. And as we've covered already, if Kane's fit, Kane plays. So I can't imagine him getting enough minutes to further his development. You'd hope that he gets picked up by a Championship club and kind of progresses that way, like Kane did. I guess further and further up the pyramid.
Yeah, definitely. James, what do you think?
Conte doesn't really play academy prospects that often. He doesn't usually play those sorts of players in too many fixtures. Like, unless we like have a catastrophic end to the season, we've got like a bunch of bloody Conference League qualification games to play as well, then maybe I can see him getting some games in there, just because Conte's like, I don't care about this. I just need like 11 players. Go try, Otherwise, like, no, I think he'll go out on loan again. Maybe in a year's time, that's when we start to look at him. But, Conte isn't Pochettino. He's not just going to give a player a go because there's a gap in the squad. I also think, even if it's not Bale, we'll get another attacking option in the summer anyway. So there probably won't be space for him unless, like, both Moura and Bergwijn go. So, I can't see him getting a chance. I think at some point he probably will get a chance, just, like, not next season.
Netherlands to, for goodness sake,
Netherlands?
the Dutch 4, Denmark 2. 2 goals for Stevie Bergwijn. Does he only score against Kasper Schmeichel Becky?
Yeah, he does. I think he's had 5 shots now and 4 goals against Schmeichel this season. To be fair to him, the header I thought was a really well taken goal, and the second goal. But yeah, this is where you have the, it was a great friendly. I really enjoyed it. It was end to end, and it was great. But is he at the quality when he comes on to do things? He doesn't assist in the same way that Son does. Yes, he's not getting minutes, and Leicester was phenomenal. But even since then, he comes on, he gets a few minutes. He's not changing games and things. So he maybe isn't being utilised as well as he would like. But he played well last week. But different standard. It's a tricky one because he's come out with like a cryptic post today about not being.
You want me to put that up, don't you?
Yeah.
Let me find that.
I haven't seen it.
It's like a dusty supercar, and he's put that.
Oh.
Which, is there was a lot of plaudits for him on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day it was. And quite rightly, I thought he played well, but that sort of thing isn't helpful, and that's the sort of thing Delhi used to do. And I just think cryptic posts like that don't usually get you back in your club side,
especially not with Conte.
Yeah,
no, I just don't think it's something he's going to want. And if he wants to move back to Ajax, it was in the Amsterdam Arena on Saturday, and then fine. But it's a tricky one because he's not better than Son, and he's more assists more than Bergwijn does. So it's a bit like you're saying about Parrott. He is a bit down the pecking order. It's a tricky one. Again, it's that sort of idea. Does he know he's going to move on? Does he want to move on? But I just think posting cryptic posts like that isn't going to necessarily help his cause much.
Seb, I can see you really want to say something.
No, not at all. I agree. I don't think he'll be. I think he'll be gone in the summer. Obviously there was talk that he could have gone in January. I think 25 to 30 million. Roughly what we paid for him. We'll get him back out of the club, and the money. I trust pretty much at the moment, Paratici, to spend that money wisely. I think Lucas and Bergwijn will depart in the summer. There's just upgrades needed. If you want to compete, you need to have a Liverpool-esque front line. They the Salah, Firmino, who's the other one? Mane. Well, the original was Salah, Firmino, Mane, and what they've done, they've gone in and got Jota when no one saw that coming at all, and he's proved a very good buy. And then they've gone out and got Diaz. So they are chopping and changing. They've got Minamino and Harvey Elliott and players like that who can come in and do a job. That's what Spurs need to do. And I feel a little bit for Bergwijn because I don't quite feel he's been given the opportunities that Lucas Moura has had. But Lucas Moura, for me, it's the time is his time's nearly up, and he's been decent. But if we're going to compete, and what we want to be doing next season, in my mind, and what Conte will want is he won't be wanting to talk about can we get into top 4. He won't want, even though we're all quite excited about the position that we're in now, at this moment, Conte won't want that again next season. He won't want to be 5th trying to get 4th. He'll want to be safely in that top 4 and looking higher, 2nd, 3rd, maybe. I think we're off a title run. To do that, you need to upgrade. You can't do that with the same players that we've got now. And unfortunately, Lucas, for me, he's a 6th or 7th. Plays for a team that are fighting out 6th or 7th. The same with Bergwijn. So I'd hope we upgrade those positions.
Yeah, definitely.
Can I just interrupt and just say we've got 115 people watching and only 40 likes. So please, can you give us a bit of a like? Really helps us. Hit that little thumb and get our viewers up. That'd be great. Thank you.
What we need is like one of those airport the sound where it goes do do do, and then you say public announcement. 123 people watching, only 40 likes. Hit that like button. Thank you.
I'm sure Steve Dive could do that. He's at the airport enough.
Speaking
Just
of
record
Steve,
the sound.
you can't say Steve and then not do the graphic, John.
Oh, sorry. I've got to find it. Oh, here we go. Yeah.
There he is.
I doubt he looks like he's gone on holiday with his niece, so he won't look like that right now. Or maybe he'll look a bit more like this.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Right, back to the international football and the Dutch versus the Denmark. My third husband, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, played the whole game. And Christian Eriksen came off the bench and scored within a couple of minutes with his first touch since that incident at the Euros. How good was that to see, Becky?
Oh, it was amazing. I said to my husband, every time Zuma plays at a ground this season, he gets booed. And quite rightly, every time Eriksen plays at a ground this season, there is a standing ovation around that ground. And it was exactly the same. He also hit the post as well. I think when it was 4-2 or 3-2.
Just gone 4-2.
Yeah, he's still got it. He's just, and you could see the delight in his face when he scored. And there's a lovely picture that Spurs put up, because Spurs put of all of the international matches on Saturday with our players, and there's a lovely one of like Højbjerg kind of like ruffling his hair and makes him look like Højbjerg, like the older one, sort of looking after him, and it was just lovely. And it's just so, we've talked before, it was horrific what we watched in the Euros, and it still haunts me to this day. It's just fantastic seeing him and back scoring, and there's rumours again today about where he's going to go and whether Brentford are going to continue his contract in the summer or what's going on there. And like you're saying about Bale, he's still got it, and he's just such an asset to whoever he plays for, and he's just such a lovely fella as well.
So, do we want Eriksen back in the summer?
If he wants to come, yeah. I mean, he's better than what we have at the moment, right? Like, even if he just stands in the middle of the pitch and like he's not allowed to move, he's in mud or something, and he just sprays passes, he's a hell of a lot better than Harry Winks, right? So, I mean, I remember Conte likes that kind of player because he was under him at Inter, and I even remember when Conte was at Chelsea, he played Fabregas in quite a lot of games when teams would play deep blocks just so they could break those teams down better. We still need that sort of player. So yes, then again, he is 30 now, right? Again, he wouldn't be a long-term solution to those problems. Again, I think people have this very negative connotation with signing a player that's left us, as if it's like going back. But at the end of the day, he'd be an upgrade over what we have, right? So I think it's a bit daft to overlook a player on those terms. Plus, he'd be a free signing, right? So I don't necessarily see what would be wrong with that. But if if Conte would want him, most definitely, yeah.
Do you think Conte would want him, Seb?
Yeah, because he said he did. He said he was surprised when he went to Brentford. Didn't know that he was available, apparently. So yeah, I'd have him back. I don't know if he would start very often. I have to be honest. The problem you've got is, he's the type of player. Let's word this correctly. I think you'd have to rip up a lot of what you're working on this season to accommodate him.
Yeah.
I don't think the formation that we play at the moment and the personnel that fit into that system, if you look at Kulusevski, Bentancur and Højbjerg, one of those has to come out to put in Eriksen, in my mind. And if you do that, where exactly are you playing him? Because he hasn't got the tenacity. He runs a lot, but in terms of the tackling that Højbjerg and Bentancur do, he's not a right-sided midfielder like Kulusevski, so you are changing the shape and the structure of your team to accommodate him. Do I think he could come on with half an hour left, as James said, when teams are playing deep blocks against us and do something maybe in place of Son or Kulusevski? Then yeah, I think that's a possibility. But I think it's a tricky one because I don't think. I think if we hadn't signed Bentancur, there was an option in January that Eriksen could have been that player maybe with Højbjerg next to him. But yeah, I'm not 100% on him. It'd be a great fairy tale. Obviously, I think we all want to see it for sentimentality, but I'm not quite sure if it actually would work for us.
But I think the thing with it is obviously we're all saying we need squad depth. And it's just having something a little bit different. Even if he's coming off the bench, it's another string to our bow. When you're playing games against like Burnley away, you need a player like that that could help. What do you think, Becky?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're saying we need like a squad depth, and he would be that. It's just whether if he's getting game time at Brentford and he's happy at Brentford, and there's a few Danish players, isn't there, at Brentford, whether he would then sacrifice that, for want of a better word, to come back to Spurs, and whether he's happy at Brentford and he likes that setup to then come to us and not necessarily play all the time.
Dear Antonio, please do not drop Kulusevski.
No.
You would definitely swap Brentford for Spurs. There's not even a question.
European football, we're going to be. You'd hope with Conte as our manager, we're going to go deep into all the cups as well. You would hope there's going to be plenty of game time, and you need squad depth. All of the squad, you want to have a quality squad so that no matter what you do, they're all going to play, but it doesn't feel like you've got a first and a second 11 like it was before. You want to be able to interchange it and set it up strategically to do the best that you can against the opposition you're facing. And just having players with different skill sets, I think, would help us in that.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah. Even Bentancur can't play every game, and I don't think he should play every game. I think he's very good for lack of a better phrasing, he's good in big games against teams where it's going to be more of a clash, right? Where they're going to play a high line. Him next to a Højbjerg is great in those games. It's, the two destroyer midfielders who come and elbow you in the face. But against teams who are just going to sit back and go, right, we're parking the bus, you don't need those two players. That's too defensive. It's like playing Rice and Calvin Phillips against Estonia, right? You don't need that. Okay, you can put a creative midfielder in. You could put Eriksen in place of Bentancur, right? Against a Burnley or against Accrington Stanley or something in the FA Cup. You know, just for those sorts of games where we know they're not going to play against us, they're going to sit back, and we just need someone who's going to be creative, and then play Kulusevski, Kane, and Son. I'm not saying we drop one of the attackers for Eriksen. I'm saying that in some games where we know teams are going to play a deep block, which is, you know, I would say 5 or 6 teams in the Premier League, plus, you know, cups, etc. He's the guy who sits in midfield, plays 15 games a season, maybe 20 games a season, and he's literally just there against teams who play low blocks, sits on the bench otherwise. Because I don't think you could accommodate that in big games unless we were going to play a midfield 3. But my suggestion is he's our, you know, low block destroyer.
I mean, it's definitely something we need.
Yeah.
It's whether anybody else comes in for him, because Brentford have said that they would extend his contract provided a top 6 team doesn't come in. And it's whether, you know, I don't know, United or something like that would come in for Eriksen. And if they don't, then, yeah, it'd be a definite maybe, wouldn't it? But it's just whether anybody would, you know, because the quality is absolutely still there. The fitness all seems fine. And like you said, like James said, he's on a free contract.
Absolutely. I don't think he'd demand big wages either. Right, on to the fun bit. I'm going to hand over to Seb, who has got a quiz. Got my pen and paper ready, which says quiz on the top. There we go.
Oh, sorry. I don't like that.
Yeah, has everyone got pen and paper?
Yeah. Have I got a brain, though? That's what I need.
Coach James. Very important.
You won't need too much. It's not that hard, and it's all about this season. I don't know how you want to do this, because I guess people who are watching will want to kind of show how clever they are. So I don't know if we need to ask people to hold off and not give the answers away.
Should we trust if we say get rid of, like, take away the comments box and put on, like, click on banners or something? Can everyone do that?
Yeah.
So we can't see the comments box?
Yeah, done. Or
Okay.
private chat.
So there's 20 questions. But it's probably out of quite a bit more, because there's kind of multiple choice and multiple answers. So,
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Yep.
Okay, so question 1 is, out of Spurs' starting lineup from the first game of the season against Manchester City, how many players made the starting lineup for the second game against Manchester City in February?
Ooh.
So I'm just looking for a number. In fact, no, let's do it the other way. So I'm looking for a number, and I want you to name them.
The ones that were playing or the ones that weren't?
No, so the ones that played in the
then
starting
played the next
lineup
one.
for the first game in August, and also the second game against City in February.
Because I know one of the ones that didn't play. That one's easy.
I think I've got it.
Yeah, I have a stab in the dark as well.
So, Johnny, how are you getting on?
I've got 3.
You've got 3, well done.
3 so far.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I've overguessed.
Oh no, he didn't play.
Got to name them as well. Okay, give you another 20 seconds.
I was there, so if I get this wrong, I'll blame the euphoria.
Maybe he didn't play.
Okay, are we ready? I want you to hold your answers up.
You won't be able to read mine, but
Yeah, you won't go through one either. There's 7 there.
I can't read.
I'll read mine out for you.
Yeah,
I put Son, Dyer, Hugo, and then these are my iffy ones: Davis and Romero.
Okay, so first of all, the answer is 4. Did anyone have 4?
Oh, I got 5.
5.
I can't give any points.
Already on Son, PEH, and Hugo.
Oh, PEH.
Yeah.
So the answer is Hugo, Dyer, Højbjerg, Son. So
Oh,
he
yeah,
had
okay.
those.
I had those, and then I had Mora, so I was close.
Okay, so no points for 4. But if you had, how many points did you get for? How many players did you get, Shan?
4.
You got the 4.
I mean,
John?
5.
No, you can't have 5 because there was only 4.
Oh, how many of sorry? Oh, how many of them? Right, okay. I had 3 of them.
3. Okay, Becky?
yeah, 4 of them.
4, and James?
I had 3 of them.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, second question. Which team inflicted Spurs' first defeat of the season?
Oh, I
Jesus.
remember
Oh.
this. I did the watch along, didn't I?
Okay. You want to hold your answers up?
I don't know if I spelt it right. Passos de Ferreira.
Passos de Ferreira is correct.
Trick
Yeah.
question.
Shan, did you get that? No.
I put Palace.
Yeah.
Anyone else say Passos?
Mate.
Well done, Becky. Okay. Next question. In the return leg against Passos, and this is multiple choice to help you out, how many passes did we complete? Is it 493, 593, or 693?
I was at that game. We were in the highest seat possible in the South Stand.
Ooh.
It was a long way away.
That's that.
Okay. Do you want to hold your answers up, or
I've gone
highest-
593.
I've
Yeah,
gone
that happened.
693.
Yeah, and me, the bigger one.
693 is correct.
Ah,
Yay.
failed.
So is that
Yeah,
for
but you
everyone
can keep
apart from
track.
John? Hold up. 4. I am keeping score. Okay, easy one for you now. 3 points available for this. Name Spurs' 3 Europa Conference League group opponents.
Oh, makes me want to cry.
No points for spelling for this one.
Oh my god. Who's the third one?
Oh.
Johnny, having a moment?
I can't think the third one is.
I've got them.
Okay, I'll give you 5 more seconds, John.
Oh, I know we thrashed
Okay.
them, but I can't remember who it is.
Go on, Shan. Who are they?
Ren, Vitessa, and Mura.
Oh, Mura, of course.
Yeah.
I had
Beck-
2 of those. I had the
Ren and
Mora one
Vitessa.
and Ren.
Mura.
James, did you have them all?
No, I had 1.
Oh, okay. So
Well done, Shan.
I was at the Vitesse game. It was Conte's first game in charge, and it was ridiculous. That was the
Oh,
Romero red card.
oh yeah. And then they had 2 sent off, didn't they?
Yeah.
I've got to say the girls are smashing it at the moment. They're on 8. John's on 6, and James is on 5. So next question: who were Spurs' opponents in the League Cup third round?
God.
God.
Oh.
What?
Oh.
I might be 4th round here, not 3rd round.
Yeah.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Go on, John. Who do you think it is?
I've got Wolves.
I've got Wolves.
Oh.
Wolves.
Yeah.
Burnley
Wolves.
was 4th round.
Ah!
So is that Shan and John got that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did start writing Burnley and crossed it out because obviously in the League Cup we don't join to the 3rd round because of Europe, do we?
Yeah.
Bit of a tricky one, that.
Which player missed his penalty in that shootout against Wolves?
What? Which Spurs
it
player
still
or
breaks
which
my
Spurs
heart.
player?
Which Spurs player?
Yeah, yeah,
It still breaks my heart now.
yeah.
I feel like Seb did this just to spite me.
I'm gonna guess it's Højbjerg then.
You'll be right.
That was a guess based on Shan's reaction.
Oh. Did everyone say Højbjerg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We.
Okay.
Spell.
Okay, Conte's first 11 games featured a total of how many red cards?
Oh God.
Is this for and
This is
again?
for both teams. Yeah, in
Oh.
total.
And
Oh,
is this first 11 including all games?
All games.
Okay.
I'm going to go with my gut here and not think too much.
Right.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go on, James. James, I can't see what you write, so just tell us what you...
4. 7. Blimey.
I've gone 7.
3. 3, I've said.
I've gone
Shan?
6.
John, you spot on. 7.
Wow.
Becky, we had 3 in the Mura game. We just talked about it. Not Mura game, the Vitesse game.
And then there was one in the Everton game.
Well, there was
There
3
was-
consecutive.
there was
There was
one in
3
the
consecutive in the
Southampton
league,
game.
wasn't there? Yeah, there was 3 in the league that were all like,
Crystal
And
Palace.
one
Royal.
at Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Southampton.
yeah.
I was trying to add it
Oh.
all up in my
Damn
head.
it.
Okay. After how many games did Antonio Conte taste his first defeat? And this is all competitions.
Is it on the game that they lost? Are we counting that game in it, or is it?
Are we what, sorry?
So say they lost X game. Are we counting X? So it is the X game would be the total.
So
Yeah,
If
so
the- if it was the number
they
3,
lost their
this is third,
200th game, that would be the number 200.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyone want to go?
I've gone
Yeah.
11.
10.
I've gone 3 because we lost
12.
to Mura.
Yeah, I can't give anyone a point. Shan's the closest. It was the 4th
Oh.
game.
Oh!
Oh,
I
I'm
was
thinking
trying to
league
think
games, aren't I?
when the Mura game was, and I thought it was the week we had Vitesse, then Everton, and I thought Mura was the next week.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I was thinking
So
league
was-
Yeah,
games.
you're missing your game. I can't think
Was
who it
10
was.
like in the league then? Because it was a lot in the league,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, so this is a bit of a longer one. There's 11 points available.
Oh, all right.
Oh, blimey.
I'll give you a couple of minutes. Name the starting lineup against Liverpool 2-2.
Oh my god!
Right, I'll write it on its own sheet.
Yeah, I can hear your brains working.
Oh.
I think he's.
Right.
Right, I think I've got it. No, 1, 2,
1,
3,
2, 3,
4,
4,
5, 6,
5,
7,
6,
8,
7,
9,
8,
11.
Yeah. Yeah.
Becky, how are you getting on?
10. I've got 10.
That was hard.
One more.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to read them out, give yourself a point for each one, and then tell
Okay.
me how many you've got. So, Hugo in goal.
Yes.
Oh,
Back 5 of Emerson,
Yeah.
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 Sanchez,
Yeah.
Dyer,
Yeah.
I didn't get that one.
Davis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Sessegnon.
Yeah.
No. No.
Yeah, I got him.
Midfield 3 of Ndombele,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winks,
Yeah.
Ah.
Dele Alli,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and front 2 of Kane and Son.
1, 2,
I got 9.
5, 6, 7, 8,
1,
9.
2,
So did
3,
I.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay.
8. 8.
8 and 8.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's
It's very close. It's very close. I'll give you the scores after the next question. Another simple one, 2 answers. Spurs played 2 cup games in the first 9 days of January. Who were they against?
Oh,
I was at them. I was at them both.
so I was
We were at one, Shan. You, me, and James.
yeah, I think I was at the 3rd cup game in January, maybe.
Okay, go on,
Yeah.
John. What are your answers?
Chelsea and Morecambe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chelsea and Morecambe. Did
Yeah.
everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so at the halfway stage, it is James on 16, Becky on 19, John on 20, Shan on 21.
Ooh,
Close.
Halfway. Okay. I'll give a point here to the nearest and 2 if you get it spot on. How many hours notice did the Premier League give before cancelling the Arsenal game?
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if it was the day before or not, or if it was in the morning.
I've got it.
Yeah.
Well, I've got an answer. I don't know if it's right.
I have an answer as well.
Becky and John?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to go 22.
Oh,
I've got
Shan.
23.
Becky?
I've got 25.
24. 24.
Oh, quite close.
Becky gets the point. It was 26.
Oh, well done, Beck.
Yeah, it was about 2 o'clock, wasn't it? I think I remember
Yeah.
it flashing up on the
2.
Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
2:30. Yeah. Okay. Which Spurs loanee moved in January from League 2 to League 1?
Oh, fuck no. Oh, got it.
Is that your confused face, Becky?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a guess.
Go on, Becky.
Guess,
Is it
yeah.
Jack Clark?
No.
I've got
Ah.
Keon Atete.
It's
Yeah.
Keon Atete.
Didn't get that.
Okay. Dele Alli has played 6 times for Everton since his January move. Has he played a total of 69 minutes, 169 minutes, or 269 minutes?
God.
Oh, no.
I can't see that, James.
169 is my
I've put
guess.
169.
So have I.
Yeah, and me.
You're all right. 169
Yeah.
minutes.
Hey.
I was going to put 69, and then I remembered he came on early in the first half because there was an injury in one of the games. I think it was
Oh,
against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah.
Okay. 2 parts to this. How many 90 minutes did Tanguy Ndombele complete for Spurs this season? And how many has he completed for Lyon?
Oh, okay.
So do we do it like 2 sets of 90 minutes?
Just
or do
2
we want
numbers.
it as yeah. But I mean, no, do we write 2 sets of 90 or do we write 180?
There you go. Now, how many
I'm really
times has he
confused.
played 90 minutes for Spurs?
Right,
And how
yeah.
many times has he played 90
Yeah.
minutes for Lyon?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is Spurs this season or forever?
You know, this season, sorry. Yeah.
Right.
In all
Okay.
competitions.
Yeah, because. Okay.
Okay. Oh,
It probably isn't that many more. It's forever,
No.
to be honest.
That's why I asked it. It's like the little details important for Ndombele.
I feel like I've probably been massively disrespectful to him here, but
Yeah, I think.
Okay, Shan, you can go. How many?
Oh.
How
I've
many?
got
How many for Spurs?
zero for Spurs
Yeah,
and 2 for Leon.
John.
I've put 3 Spurs, 4 Leon.
That's like mine. 3 for Spurs and 5 for Lyon.
0 for Spurs, 4 for Leon.
And the only person to get a point is Becky. It's 2 for Spurs and 5 for Leon.
Well done, Bex.
Thank you.
Surprised he completed 90 minutes twice, to be
He
honest.
always got
Yeah.
sucked off, didn't he?
I think he played the full 90 in the Wolves game.
Liverpool
didn't he?
game.
That went to penalties.
Wolves-
No,
Wolves
Liverpool
was
game got
final,
taken
though.
off.
I think
Did
it was Wolves and a Europa League game. I think that's what it was. Okay, Spurs 2 new boys, Rodrigo Bentancur and Dejan Kulusevski, have taken the 30 and the 21 shirts respectively. Who were the last players to wear those shirts for Spurs?
Ooh. Uh, 21. I haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got an image in my head of who the 30 is, but it's not. The name isn't coming to me.
I've got a 30, but it's from quite a long time ago. I'm going to go with it. I don't have a 21.
There's a name in my head, but I don't know why.
I'm gonna put what I think.
Oh,
Okay,
these are from years ago.
I think
Okay,
I've
go
got
on,
it.
Shan.
I've got Harry Kane 21 and Disco Benny for 30.
No,
Oh.
much more recent. Go on, John.
I'm going to guess at Carl Walker-Peters for 21 because I can't think of anyone else. And 30 is a really old one and friend of the show, Sandro.
Okay, good numbers, but no. Becky?
Mine are a bit of a guess. So Trippier for 30 and
No.
Delhi 21.
Delhi was
No,
20.
Delhi
then.
was 20.
Ah!
James?
In Kudu,
No.
Discreet.
Troy Parrott.
No. So, yeah, obviously a tough one. Number 30 was Gedson Fernandez,
Oh,
Oh,
and number 21 was Juan Foyt.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Yeah, never going to get that.
so both quite recent, aren't they, as well?
Yeah. Okay.
they've done much better than the people that had them before them. So
Already.
Yeah,
Already.
yeah, absolutely.
Spurs lost 1-0 to Burnley in February. How much possession did they have? Is it 56%, 66%, or 76%?
What did it's how much Spurs had? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like talking about this.
Deb, can you read them out again, please?
Yeah, 56, 66, or 76% possession.
Okay. Yep.
Go on, Shan.
I've gone 56, but I feel like it's probably wrong.
John,
I've gone 66.
Becky,
76.
66.
John and James are correct. 66.
It didn't. When I was there, it didn't feel like we had the ball that much, and I didn't look at the stats when I got home because I was depressed. So
I hope I've worded this correctly. So, question 17. When Spurs beat Leicester in January, what team record did they break, beating a record they had only just set 2 weeks previously?
Oh, okay.
We've all got this one, haven't we?
I feel like
Is it
Becky probably has.
Are you ready?
Jay, you ready?
Go on.
Yeah.
Shan?
Yeah.
Is it the latest winning goal?
It is, yeah, in the Premier League, yeah.
Because Man City had it twice, didn't they? Man City
Oh,
had the
I thought
Aguero one, and then they did it recently again against somebody else.
It was. I don't know if it was Spurs' winning goal. So it wasn't. It's not just in the Premier League.
I think
just
what
Spurs'
Becky
latest winning goal.
What Becky's going is when we've been losing, because in that Leicester game we took the record for the latest the
thought we
team have been
meant
losing to turn it round.
No, so it's our latest. It's our latest winning goal. It was originally we set it against Watford with Sanchez, and then we beat it again with Bergwijn. So put your hands up if you got that right.
I put City.
No, sorry, Shan.
I didn't get the question. The way it read, it was like, what team did we beat? Like,
you're not having a go at the quizmaster, are you, Shan? You wouldn't do that, would you?
Can you make it more Essex, please, Seb?
yeah, I didn't get the question.
Okay. Next, so question 18. How many shots did Spurs concede in their 4-0 win at Leeds?
I didn't even watch it.
So is this on target, off target, anything?
This is total shots, yeah.
Total shots. Oh god, okay. Okay, complete guess.
I
Thank you.
think that was Everton.
Everyone done?
You done, Beck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shan?
Yeah.
Okay. Complete guess. I've gone 14.
That's high.
I've gone 10.
Becky?
14, same. Yeah.
James?
Sorry, is this how many shots we had or they had?
They
had.
They had 4.
19.
Oh.
I don't know.
They had loads of chances, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. They did.
Okay. Only one Premier League player has played more successful through balls this season than Harry Kane. Who is it? So it's Premier League, not Spurs, the entire Premier League.
I think we're all done.
Everyone got an answer?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go on, James.
Is it Kevin De Bruyne?
No.
That's what I've written. Me.
I don't know if this is... Oh, Bruno I've gone for.
Bruno is correct.
We don't talk about him.
Diving. Bastard.
I mean, it was a bit of... It could have been... There's 2 or 3 it could have been, couldn't it? But
Okay, last question in the normal quiz, because I have got a little bit of a surprise up my sleeve for the very final question. But question number 20 is, which Spurs player has made the most successful passes this season?
Oh, okay.
I'm stuck between 2, but I've picked one.
I'm stuck between about 4, but I've written one.
Okay, go on, Becky.
PH.
PEH.
PEH is correct.
Yeah. I just thought he's played more games than Dyer.
Yeah, I'll stick between those 2 as well.
Okay, so the final scores, and they're not quite final, are James on 20, Becky and Shan on 24, and John on 26. However, we're going to play a little game now where we're going to go round the room, take it in turns on this next question. And for every answer that you get correct, you have 10 seconds. We're going to go in order of James, Becky, Shan, John. So James, you get to start, so you've got the advantage. And you get 2 points for every player that you can name who featured in the 1-0 away defeat to Pacos de Ferreira.
Oh my god.
So once the player's gone, you obviously can't answer it again. There are 14 players. You just answer one, and then it will move to Becky, then it will move to Shan, then it will move to John. Okay, so you can name any player that featured in that game. There are 14 of them, and your time James starts now.
Højbjerg.
Okay, you're out already. Okay, Becky.
Kane.
No, you're out as well.
Oh,
This isn't going very well.
Cameron Carter Vickers.
Cameron Carter Vickers is a point, Shan. You're 2 points. So
Oh,
you're
wow,
up to
well
26.
done.
John?
Dane Scarlett.
Dane Scarlett is correct. Basically, whoever wins this is going to win the whole thing. Shan
Ryan Sessegnon.
is correct.
Is that when you got sent off? No, that was
No.
later, wasn't it? That was Mura.
John?
Galini.
Galini is correct. Shan?
Davinson Sanchez.
Is incorrect, Shan.
Oh! I was thinking of Niall John played, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
I just couldn't
John,
remember
you
it
go.
coming to me.
Lo Celso.
The Celso is correct. So this isn't in any order, but the players. John, you win the quiz, by the way. Well done. The answers are Ben Davis, Lo Celso, Harry Winks, who obviously moaned quite a lot about it, Galini, Scarlett, Niall John, Jack Clark, Carter Vickers, Pat Skotsky, Doherty, Brian
Doherty.
Hill, Romero, Sessegnon, and J. Neil Bennett.
Oh, did he play? Oh.
Did.
I definitely confused it with the Mora game. That's what I was thinking of.
There's your quiz, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Thanks,
very
Seb.
good.
Good stuff, mate.
Yeah, that was ace.
No worries.
Super.
I will just say my wife tried to butcher the quiz by writing extra words in my questions. For example, how many shots did Spurs concede to Leeds in their 24-0 win? As opposed to 4-0 win. And I circled the correct answer on the Spurs versus Burnley thing, and she put a circle around all of the answers, which didn't help me very much. But yeah,
No, good quiz.
Excellent.
no problem.
I'm just loading up the run sheet again.
Well, I was going to say, Shan, shall we wrap up? Because we've been on for an hour and a half, haven't we? And we're going to be back on Friday. We've got quite a lot to discuss. Found out today, it's the World Cup draw on Friday. So HG got very excited. I'm just going to put this up. He straight away, he went off and sent us this on WhatsApp. He's already worked out which pot England will be in, and Germany will almost certainly be in second. So we're going to have that to talk about. We've got Newcastle to preview that Becky's going to, Seb's going to, I'm going to, James is going to. Shan?
Not me.
No, we're not going to. No Jinxie Shan.
No, I'm not going. The only game I'm going to go to now this season is the North London Derby when it's rearranged, because I'm prioritising my house and wedding funds.
Good.
Doing a good service for us there.
We've got a lot to talk about, and we'll talk about tomorrow's England game, I think, as well. But the World Cup will be quite key. And I think I saw some comments about players we need to get in and out. At some point in the next couple of weeks, we're going to do a bit of a show on which player. We're going to go through the squad. Who do we think we should try and keep, and who should we get rid of? Yeah. Shan, you with us?
Okay.
Sorry, I was just blocking someone.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, my goodness.
Fair enough.
We've not been looking at the chat, have we?
No.
Sorry.
I've just seen. Brilliant.
Just using the block button.
Nice.
But yeah, no. It always happens when I'm posting. There's always weirdos in the
Oh
comments.
my
Anyway.
god. That's a lot.
Why can't I see any of this?
Not me.
You go back
For
to the
some
comments.
reason, my comments is now
It's been
gone
blocked.
blank.
He's been
Oh,
blocked
there-
now.
Yeah,
it's all been blocked.
I've blocked him now. But
Crikey.
yeah. Thanks everyone for joining. John, as ever, thanks for the run sheet and deleting all of Dave's nonsense.
I didn't delete it all. We still got more stuff in there. I think he was editing as we went. But yeah, good. Well hosted, Chan. Well done. I'm a bit disappointed there was no drunken caller in the comments, though.
He's a waster. We don't talk about caller. Becky, thank you for joining us again.
All right, anytime. Thank you.
Coach James wearing red of all colours. Thanks for joining.
Here's the Wales top.
You're welcome.
They have a yellow version. Buy that one instead.
No, don't like yellow. Bad colour. You're welcome for having me on. Thank you for having me on as well.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I took time out of my precious Monday to do this. So also, everyone say thank you. I'm joking. Lovely to be on as ever. Lovely chat we all had today. And thank you, Seb, for the quiz.
Yes, and last but not least, thanks, Seb, for the quiz.
No problem.
Got
I'm
my
off to
brain
lie
ticking.
down. Yeah, I've not been funny. COVID has kind of half swiped me. It's tiring. Does wear you out. But I'm going for a long lie down. Sound like a very old man.
I don't blame you.
Hope you feel better
enjoy
soon.
your early night.
Cheers, Seb.
Cheers,
No
Seb.
worries.
Cheers, everyone. And can we even say "Come on, you Spurs"? I swear it's like "Come on, England," ain't it? Like,
No, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you
Come on.
Spurs. Come on,
Come
you
on,
Spurs.
Spurs.
hang on, I haven't got the thingy up yet. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.